Hi there, and welcome into this energy astrology update for this beginning half of April 2024. And I say the beginning half because we are coming into our Aries total solar eclipse on the 8th, and I have no doubt that there's going to be a lot of shakeups, sudden twists and turns that we and I didn't see coming. So that's why I'm kind of like, let me give you this energy update. What I'm picking up now, and the caveat that this is only going to be touching the surface of what is the potential that we can be experiencing, as well as the astrology. So really trusting and allowing and going with the flow of these moments. My name is Christy Whistler. I am an intuitive. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and I'm also the parent of two very unique cosmic children. And if you are needing support right now, if you are really getting hit, whether it's the solar flares or your own personal life, and you want to understand why, I highly recommend an astrology birth chart reading. Why are these things happening to you? Why is your soul magnetizing these people and these experiences to you? And how can you grow and learn from them? That's just some of what we look at with an astrology reading. Now, I do offer two different kinds. I have a 30-minute one. So those of you who are new to me or you want to check this out, you're not quite sure yet, or if you're on a tight budget, that's a really good affordable option that you can still find these answers for the big stuff that's happening for you right now. Or if you would like a deeper, in-depth dive into your soul and understanding your soul, I have 90-minute readings available. And you'll find all of that below in the description and also at my website, chrissywhistler.com. And as always, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. If you find this supportive and helpful, please share this with your friends who might be really going through it. And I hope that this can help them as well as help you. So first off, I just really want to thank you all for being here, for saying yes to being on this earth at this moment in time, and just acknowledge you and validate you. Your soul chose this for a reason, knowing that you can handle it, no matter what's happening, and oh boy, it can be a bit crazy. So thank you for being here. I really do appreciate you. So we have quite a few things to cover, and we're going to see where this all takes us. The first thing I want to do is just speak about the sun briefly. Now, if you didn't see my earlier videos, I'm doing this ongoing series, and we'll see where it takes me, about solar flares, what they are, how they can potentially affect us as human beings, and as well as like the Schumann resonance and even ley lines. So I did 3 videos so far on that. Please go there if this intrigues you and you want to know more. All right, so I do have my notes because there's quite a bit happening. So right now I'm filming this on, oh goodness, what day is it? March 3rd. On March 3rd, and we just had a very active group of sunspots rotated to the back side of the Earth. So right around the equinox, we had a ton of flares, including an X-class flare that our Earth and the protons were so receptive to it that we went into a geomagnetic storm that was the strongest that we've had in 7 years. So we've been kind of having a rockin' and rollin' time, and that grouping of sunspots that caused all that to happen, they're now on the backside of the sun. And on the sun facing Earth right now, it is incredibly calm and quiet on what we can see on the outside, which is very interesting because And I go into this more in the solar video, so please check that out for more of what I'm even talking about here. We are in the solar cycle 25, and we are at solar maximum. So having these periods of quiet is like, so what's really going on here? And the thing is, scientists don't fully know, because we don't know what's going on the inside of the sun. Well, we don't have that technology to understand that and to follow that, to measure that yet. But we do know that on the inside, there's all this kind of chaos and turbulence, because we know the sun is in solar maximum, and it's going through this slow process. It takes about 2 years when the magnetic poles of the sun are going to flip. So what's the North Pole? It's going to be flipping to the south and so forth. So a lot of intensity happening below the surface that we can't see right now. And you might be feeling it if you're extra sensitive to solar energies. But I think this is a beautiful reflection to this Aries solar eclipse, especially conjunct Chiron. And I'm going to get to more of that in just a moment. But it's this, right now, it is an internal journey. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to see things happening on the outside. And yet, it's really about what's happening within, and what happens within us is what's going to be bringing these big changes that into the physical world. I just want to add in, we are probably going to be getting hit with a coronal mass ejection on April 4th. So I think it's the day before this video is going to be coming out. So we are expecting to have some geomagnetics, but not crazy, because we're just in this, even Earth itself is in this abnormally quiet phase where we should be a little bit, we're still in the Russell McFerrin effect. We're still very receptive just after the equinox to the space, weather, and the solar and energy and the radiation, the all that stuff. And yet it's in a period of quiet. So again, very interesting. For me, intuitively, what I'm sensing is we're going to see more activity happening around with the sun around that April 8th or just after it, potentially even around March 10th, because we're going to have the Saturn-Mars conjunction that will be kicking us off until the next one 2 years later. So I'm feeling like we're in this calm, but it's kind of like the calm before the storm. So really take care. The whole theme of this message, honestly, is take care of yourself, be compassionate, be very gentle, and a lot of grace for yourself and for other people. Like, if there's a theme, that is it. It is hold on, ride these waves as they come in. You don't want to get sucked under, and you might. That can be part of the healing journey, is going under and going deep within. Again, this internal process rather than outward, external, getting thrown around those waves. And I'm going to continue to explain that as I go on. But that's kind of what I'm sensing as this kind of solar calm before some very intense solar floods, with all the solar rain, the flares, the radiation, the gamma ray updates that our DNA, our cells are going to be receiving. So definitely be grounded right now. Definitely be gentle with yourself and with other people. All right. So yes, and also pairing with that, the solar flares, I've been really sharing something Jason Estes has talked about, is that these X-class solar flares are like stem cells for the soul, where it's this energetic process where it's cutting through the bullshit. When we receive these flares, it's like, what are you carrying and holding on to, your soul is holding on to, that is not yours? Misperceptions, misbelief, like just these things that have just been like added onto you bit by bit, and it's this fogginess, this forgetting of who you truly are, and they come in and they just go whack and they cut through, and then you're left in this bareness, and you're questioning, you can be questioning, like, who am I? Am I really this person, or am I really this thing? And it's like, these can also be things that are very important and dear to us, and yet we're having to face them and to look at them, to question, is this who I am? Is this actually true? Is this something that I believe in? And sometimes it's a yes, and sometimes it's a need to let go of what is old and outdated. And again, this is all going to be very much mirrored in the astrology of 2024. And I just kind of wanted to add in, as well as the people that I've been in contact with, close friends, when I check in with them, especially after this recent X-class flare that we had, and I was like, hey, how you doing? And this can be some of their experiences of their just inner world getting rocked. And they may seem totally fine on the outside, right? But again, it's that internal turbulence, that switching. Where is your North Star? Where is your north pointing now? And is it accurate for you? So, I do expect as well that we will have some increasing instability on Earth through April. This is with our geomagnetics, but also just the Earth herself. I'm feeling, I'll talk more about this later in another video, but we are coming up to an exact conjunction between Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. So Taurus is very fixed Earth, doesn't want to move very fast. It's that cow slowly eating the grass. And Uranus is this sudden bolt of electricity and the rug getting ripped out from under you. So you pair them together and you get a lot of things like earthquakes, volcanoes, eruption. And this can be physically, and it also can happen in our world stage, like people erupting in riots and so forth, things like that. And on my April 2nd, but their April 3rd, like Taiwan just had a 7.4 earthquake and then caused all these great tsunamis to happen, which is also interesting with Neptune being in Pisces. We have Gong Gong in Pisces, so also very this energy linked to flooding. So, so I have a feeling that that energy is going to continue to increase as we build towards that exact conjunction, and even after, because they are an operational energy right now, and we are seeing that. Okay, so let's dive deeper into this astrology around April 8th and the energies of these different planets and what we might expect. You've been hearing a lot from me about this discussion around self versus others. Doing your soul's authentic desires, where your gut, your instincts are leading you forward, compared to maybe other people, and this co-dependency, where we might have lost ourself, our drive, our direction, our values within the mirror of other people, where we get so wrapped up that we can merge with them. So we will be continuing to see through the end of, through 2024, people are breaking away. Whether we are breaking away from them or they are breaking away from us. This is a very natural thing to be experiencing with the North Node in Aries. South Node is in Libra. So talked about this around the Libra. I'm just trying to remember everything I've done. The Libra lunar eclipse. I even did an intuitive reading, which will be coming out a few days after this video. with these energies as well. So continue to expect this. And this can be painful. This can be very uncomfortable, this experience of having to go it our own way and to leave people that we might deeply care about behind. And yet, we need to, in order to honor our soul's direction, our soul's spark for life, the reason that we're here. This energy is really going to be ignited and coming back online, especially with this April eclipse, and even more so at the end of April when Mars, the ruler of Aries, enters Aries. All right. I'm just checking my notes to see if I've... Okay. So with that, let's kind of go a little bit more into why this particular eclipse is so special. It's because it is exactly conjunct the wounded healer Chiron. And I mean exact by degree and minute. It's right there with that sun and moon. And what this new, it's because this is a new moon, this is signifying a new beginning for all of us that's going to be resonating, setting this tone from this April 8th moment until the next solar eclipse, which is going to be the beginning of October. So it's very important. And with Chiron there, Chiron is asking us to go into these deep wounds, these soul wounds. And what I mean by these energies, it can be this experience where it's actually not necessarily a big deal. Like maybe you got a paper cut, and yet that paper cut, you're like bawling or you're super angry. It's like you're having this intense reaction to something that is very actually small. And when you feel that intensity, when you feel this deep, again, it's like coming from the soul itself, this deep wounding, know that that is a chironic experience. And it can feel like purging. It can feel like violently removing the toxicity from your body, like when you get food poisoning. Or it can even feel like a very lonely, isolating experience, especially with Chiron and Aries, where you feel like an alien. You feel completely alone, and you are sitting at the airport eating shitty airport food. So it's not comfortable to go through these Chiron experiences. And yet this myth of Chiron is he had this, a centaur who had this wound, and he went across all of the earth searching for the medicine to relieve his pain. And in doing so, became this master teacher, this master healer. And that is the opportunity that's being presented for all of us at this total eclipse, solar eclipse. Where we are wounded is where the light can shine through. If you look at crystals and where they are cracked inside, that is where they are the most beautiful, because that is where the rainbows are. So this is very much a time of finding your inner cracks. And in doing so, in finding those cracks, in seeing them and witnessing them, that is when you will find your rainbow. And that rainbow can be part of who you are, your light, your energy, what you give back to the world as a service to other people. But it's this necessary refinding our true selves, our authentic selves, what is right for each of us as individuals. And only then can we offer that back to other people, which is that South Node in Libra. The people we are in relationship with. To be part of that, to be in relationship and yet still be our unique self. So this is very much a time of healing from codependency. And it, not necessarily even just ours, but this can be even lineage. Clearing that energy. I felt that one coming. This is a time as well to find our voice. It feels a little bit better, but it's still scratchy, so we'll see what else needs to be cleared through this. And this is, again, finding our authentic voice and reconnecting back to that. Now, okay. Just trying to figure out, there's so much with astrology, where to go to next. So, the ruler of Aries is Mars, and Mars at this eclipse is in Pisces, conjunct Saturn. So, this can come up in different energies with Saturn-Mars conjunction, as I was speaking about earlier. So it can be a very warlike kind of energy, so don't expect if we happen to see a lot more of that intensity in the world stage, in ourselves or in other people. This is a period of highlighted anger. And this anger can show up in two ways. It can be very unconscious, where we're just angry, reacting, projecting on to other people, which is another big, big theme of this energy of April's projection. And this is also about healing and reclaiming healthy anger. It is that standing up when we need to stand up for ourselves or for other people. When to take a stand and to be in our warrior selves, to be in our strength. And when do we not? When can we just be at peace and let things go? So there's a lot of complexity to this. This is a really divine dance. This is not about, the intention, the hope is not to burn it all down. That can be some of this energy that's coming through. Again, Saturn, Mars. We also have Mercury retrograde conjunct Aries, who is this the sister to Mars, and this feisty street fighter who stands up for injustice. So there is this dynamic that's in play. Aries is very, very highlighted right now. Mercury and Aries are both in Aries. Venus, who rules that South Node, is also in Aries. So a lot of Aries energy. And this is deeply going into how are we acting from our unconscious, from these unconscious Chiron wounds where we have gotten knocked off our horse, being unable to follow our desires, our unique individual directions in life, and a healing of that, a healing of our autonomy, our sovereignty. So there's a lot, and I hope I'm being clear in bringing all this through. I mean, there's so much with these energies. The other thing I want to bring through with Saturn Mars is Mars wants to just go burst ahead. Mars is action, Mars is energy. And with Saturn there, Saturn is like, slow it down, Mars. We are not jumping and skipping ahead. We are not hitting full throttle on the race car. Like, we're taking this nice and slow and easy. We are not going to repeat those rash actions of the past. So if you are feeling a lot of start-stop energy, or like ready to go forward, and then you just get slammed like a freight train hit you, or again, you got knocked off your horse, this is that play of Saturn. This is also that play of Chiron of, oh, I'm going to go do this amazing thing. And oh my God, deep wounding from the past. And again, that Saturn energy is making you sit down and deal with it. This is about making our dreams, Pisces, into a reality. But it needs to be done so in the right way, the right measured way and pace. That's Saturn. So we're being very supportive. It may not feel like it. You may really be going through it. But do know this is helping to reconnect what has been lost within you. Whether it's your lost direction and drive, your will to live even, if you're feeling heavy, depressed, that can be some of this Chiron in Aries conjunct the North Node. We're being pushed to go into what is uncomfortable, what is unfamiliar and unknown to us, and that is that North Node Chiron in Aries. All right, let me look at my notes here. Okay, so I just want to speak a little bit about this projection. As I said, it's going to be very massive right now. For this next 6 months, we might be feeling it most intensely around this April 8th. And projection is when there's something within yourself, and this is just my definition, my paraphrasing of it, okay? Something within yourself that you do not want to see. So you cast that onto someone else. It's like when someone tells you, this thing that happened, this is all your fault. And then you're like, well, I tried to like talk to you about this and I tried to confirm this thing, but you never did. It's like all that blame is placed on you, and they are not willing to see in their own mirror and accept what is theirs. That's just an example. I hope that makes sense. So it's casting what we do not want to see onto someone else, projecting. And this is very highlighted. I think it's going to be very strong because of that Chiron North Node. Again, North Node is where we are uncomfortable. We don't want to go there. We don't want to look at it. What we're familiar with is this South Node in Libra, being codependent with other people, wrapping ourselves so much with other people that we've lost ourselves, and yet to find who we truly are, to reconnect back to us. And with Chiron there, ooh, that's like looking at some deep wounds of where in the past, whether our childhood, this life, or other lifetimes, where we were not allowed to do that. That can be very, very painful. And if the people around you aren't willing to do that inner work, just like the sun is taking this time to do its own inner cataclysmic changes, okay? People aren't willing to do that. They're going to be projecting all that pain that they're feeling from their soul onto the people around them, to people they may not agree with. And so this is also kind of bringing in that, like, again, ramping into that potential warlike energy, that Saturn-Mars energy. So be very, very mindful. Be mindful of your words, your reactions with other people, with yourself. Are you doing the one projecting? So really be mindful of holding up that mirror and looking back at you. This will help so much to move through these energies. This intensity is being able to look at yourself and say, yeah, that part right there, that's mine. I will own that, and I will look at that and find out why my soul is feeling the way that it does. And if you're needing some help with that, again, astrology birth chart readings are amazing, helpful tools. And if you know something and you're like, this is the thing I've been working on for years and I'm stuck, I also offer these intuitive quantum astrology healing sessions to help move through those stuck things, to shift them and make them easier to integrate, to have more space in your life. So I do offer those if you need that help. But you also don't need my help, because you have the ability to do this all within you. You truly, truly do. All right, so what else do I need to say with this? Okay, so in addition to this energy of projection, okay, we are again, once again, being helped by this, this pause, stop, and reflect. Mercury just went retrograde in Aries on April 1st, and it's going to be moving back over this Chiron, this North Node. So it's like we're having this chance to review within ourselves our ways of thinking, our ways of communicating. And it's like, oh, should I have said this thing? Is that actually what I want? Does that feel right in my gut? Like, that can be some of those reviews and reflections. So hopefully words may not be as harsh as they could be with this Mercury retrograde helping us. But, you know, that's always up to us to decide. And are we willing to do that reflection? Or is it so painful and so difficult that we can't look at it all and we have to send that out to other people? So be very forgiving. I would say advice, be very forgiving at this time and very compassionate with yourself and with other people. The truth is we don't know what's happening within someone else, what they are going through, their own inner turmoils. Just like the sun right now is quiet on the outside, and yet on the inside, so much is switching and changing. So try your best to stay in that state of forgiveness and compassion, and just this, again, moving with the flow of energy, not getting pulled under unless it's part of that healing process that you need to go through. And if you do get pulled under by outside craziness, that's also okay. What matters is the moment when you stop and you're like, you know that what I'm feeling right now is pretty shitty. I don't want to keep doing this anymore. I want to find another way. I actually want to look at myself and see what part I had to play in this craziness, or my reactions, or whatever. So know that that is the moment that really matters, is when you stop and you course correct. So again, this is when that self-forgiveness and self-love comes in. It is so important. And thought I was done. Just clearing some more of that stuck energy. Allow yourself to trust when it is the right time to speak, to be in your voice and your power. I feel like there's going to be a lot of healing around the throat chakra, our authenticity, our authentic truth. That's what this is really feeling it like. So there can be a purging, a coughing, a vomiting even, of what has stuck within you, what has blocked you from your authentic voice and truth. So the other thing I would share, just to help you, this April, this eclipse, really ground yourself. If things are getting really wonky out there, really crazy, really out of control, like, take your shoes off. If you can, go outside and sit in the grass. Sit under a tree. Close your eyes and try and have a conversation with that tree or whatever. But just get outside. Moving your body would be very good. Again, that Aries energy is the body. It's the blood. Get the blood moving in a way that works for you, that is healthy for you and the people around you. Drinking a lot of water. Always, always powerful, always helpful. Allowing yourself to take a step back from that outer world and even just connecting with children, or the ease and laughter and joy of children. And maybe you can't feel that for yourself because there are a lot of wounds there. Totally understand. But can you even appreciate that, even as that observer, and just watch the children? Turn off the mind, the outside world, and just be present in this now moment and in your body. I think that will help so many of us move through the different experiences that our soul is going to be calling for us, towards us, and for us for this month of April. So I know that was a lot. I really do hope that this is helpful and supportive for you. Please let me know in the comments below. I just had hummingbirds going by. It's just lovely. What has your experience been like? How are you doing? You need to be seen and witnessed. Know that you will be. And if you don't feel comfortable, that's also fine too. I really just appreciate you all for being here. If you need more support, I again do have my offerings available. You can go to my website, find out more, or you can send me an email and we'll chat directly. And please like this video. Really, really, really does help me to connect with other people like you. Share this if this is helpful. And I'm just, again, so appreciated for you and everything you are doing and everything you are healing to welcome in this new earth, this new journey, this new evolution that we are all a part of. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.